Welcome to the 2021 SEVA Award Celebration. I'm Nabayo, and today we're presenting the documentary category winners of the Defining 2020 Awards. Following the award presentation, we will be airing full-length versions of all the winners, so be sure to stay with us. And as always, remember this is a new and extra award this year. These productions are still eligible to win a SEVA. You'll have to join us for award night on Sunday, April 18th to find out who will take home the big award. And be sure to RSVP at secctv.org to receive updates on the SEVA celebration. With us today presenting the Documentary Defining 2020 Awards are Mr. Matt Hedges, Chairperson of the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission, and Mrs. Melissa May, SEVA Media Teacher at Intercom High School.
Hi, I'm Matt Hedges, Chairman of the Sacramento Metro Cable Commission. I'm so excited to be part of the premier event in Sacramento to showcase student educational videos to the Sacramento community.
Hi, Matt. I'm Melissa May. I'm a proud SEVA Lab teacher and CTE teacher at Intercom High School. We have the broadcast and media arts pathway. And what a difference having these kind of programs makes for kids. It's so exciting to be here tonight and see all the hard work that they've put in, because it has been a pretty challenging year.
Without further delay, let's present the awards. The 4th through 6th Documentary Defining 2020 Award is presented to COVID-19 Vaccine. Producers, Anson Ho of Del Paso Manor Elementary School. Anson was challenged in developing this project at home. He struggled to schedule interviews due to lack of response to multiple requests. He solved the problem by not quitting, but expanding his requests to others for interviews.
So I'm an infectious diseases doctor. I take care of people with infectious diseases, and I'm also the medical director of the California Department of Healthcare Services.
Dr. Karen Mark is helping to make a difference during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our department runs the Medi-Cal program, which pays for doctor's visits and other healthcare for about a third of all Californians, including about half of all kids. So about half of all kids that go to your school.
Well, Anson, we're so glad you're here with us, and we're so very proud of you. We'd like to give you the chance to say a few words.
Okay, thank you SECC for letting me use the skills I've learned from Mrs. Darrow to produce this video. I'd like to make a special thank you to Dr. Mark for allowing me to interview her and including her in the video. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Darrow and my parents for giving me support and encouragement during this process. Thank you, SEC, again for giving me the chance to convey the importance of COVID vaccination.
I know we're all very proud of you, but I think you have some people there that are probably pretty proud of you too. I think your mom might have a couple words to say. Is that okay, Mom?
Yes, we are very proud of the work he has done and being able to convey and the importance of the COVID vaccination. That's understandable not only to children, but to adults as well during this time of so much uncertainty.
Anson, nice work. Congratulations.
The 7th through 8th Documentary Defining 2020 Award is presented to Distance Learning Documentary. Producer, Kadence of Heron School. Kadence faced many challenges in producing his program, including the scheduling of interviews, controlling Zoom record sound and background, and not having access to school video equipment. He overcame these challenges by using his iPhone and learning a new editing system from YouTube tutorials.
Your learning gets interrupted by Zoom because you're getting kicked off, and then you can't unmute, and then there's problems all the time with the technology and the internet because everybody's on Zoom at once.
Challenges of distance learning can really hurt the kids more than we even know.
Just not being able to see my friends is kind of...
There's so many distractions during Zoom, so I can get distracted really easy.
The challenges, oh my gosh, it's number one, and that is, it's really the social interaction.
Congratulations, Kadence. We are so proud of you. Let's turn it over to you so you can share what this process has been like.
I just wanted to make this video so that way people would know what it's like for other people, because everyone's situation is different. So understanding other people's situation can help you.
Looks like there's someone next to you that might want to say a few words as well.
Yes, I'm Kadence's father. Thank you so much. He is a very hard worker. She was very creative in her thought process on how to do this and trying to get all the people in place and all that. It was amazing to me what she did and how she edited. She took her time in doing that editing, and she loves this type of learning. So thank you very much for giving her this opportunity and for the knowledge that we're all sharing together.
Congratulations, Kadence.
Thank you.
In the 9 through 12 documentary category, the judges recognized 4 defining 2020 awards. The first award is presented to Mental Health in the Digital Age. Producer, Jenna Shepard of Rio Americano High School. The judges complimented Jenna for taking on a tough and unpopular subject for teenagers, but stated how important it is given that it is such a relevant topic in these times.
90% of teenagers have used social media. It's how teens connect. Social media can be used for positive activities. It's fantastic that teens have easy access to social interaction with their peers, especially during quarantine when they don't have the option of going to school. However, statistics show that social media does more harm than good. On all social media sites, there's an overwhelming urge to be popular and fit in. Apps like Instagram and Twitter run on likes and comments.
Congratulations, Jenna.
First of all, thank you so much. I am so honored to receive the Defining 2020 Award for my documentary, Mental Health in the Digital Age. As teenagers, myself and my peers spend most of our time online, and our screen time has only increased since the start of the 2020 pandemic. And over the past couple of years, I've noticed a troubling trend, which is the rise of mental illness due to the overuse of social media. So researching for my documentary about that took a lot of time and effort, but it was well worth it. I emerged from the other side with a newfound knowledge of how social media, really impacts the mental health of teenagers. We're on it all the time. And so my documentary explores that. And I am so grateful to win this award. Producing this took so much time, but it was really hard. But in the end, I'm really proud of the end product. And again, I'm so grateful for this award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jenna. We're so proud of you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for shedding light on such an important topic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A second 9 through 12 documentary defining 2020 award is presented to Black and Blue. Producer, Abigail Biebel of Del Campo High School. Abigail shared with us, I decided to create my entry because of the mass amount of protests that were taking place after the death of George Floyd. A challenge I faced was trying to schedule interviews with the leaders of the protest groups and the mutual outside locations.
Abigail, congratulations. We are so proud of you. Let's hear from you right now.
All right. First, I want to thank my parents for supporting me throughout this whole process. I know it was hard to let your 17-year-old daughter go to some of the protests that I went to. I want to give a huge thanks to Mr. Weitzel, my production teacher. I could not have done it without his help. He's amazing. I want to thank Olivia De Janeiro for helping me with some of the script. I would like to thank Juice, which is an activist group who organized many of the marches shown in the film. I want to thank all my friends and coworkers who have supported me this whole time. You guys mean the world to me. I want to thank SECC and SEVA for shedding light on such an important topic. And lastly, I specifically want to thank my dad for always giving me advice and being my biggest advocate. I love you all so much and thank you.
Speaking of your dad, he's beaming. I imagine you might want to say a few words as well, Dad.
Well, maybe just a few. I just want to thank all the teachers at Del Campo that have motivated and recognized Abby's interest in telling stories. I've recognized it for a long time, and I'm a big supporter of the way she tells them. I've learned a lot from her. And I really want to thank SEVA for really, validating her interest and her work in this. So it's really going to be great. She's headed off to college. She's got a direction to go, and I'm really excited for her.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
In the 9 through 12 documentary defining 2020 category, the third award is presented to Love in Adoption. Producer, Ethan Ho of Franklin High School. Ethan shared his challenges with us, saying, I needed to be sensitive to the different comfort levels of people when meeting them to do interviews. I also needed to overcome my own fears as I filmed different people.
Our daughter has a relationship with her biological sister, who is 24 years old, and her sister sought her out, reached out to CPS who reached out to us via email. And so that's been a relationship that's been very valuable and meaningful to our daughter. And it's allowed her to have information about her biological family.
I have asked about my other parents. I asked how many siblings I had. I asked why I had to be taken away from them and how many different homes I went to.
Ethan, congratulations. What a great video. What an important topic. We'd like to hear from you and let you give your acceptance speech.
I'd like to thank my parents and my family and all the families that helped make this video possible, as well as all the organizations such as Little Angel Adoptions and Family Connections Christian Adoptions and the Creekside Church Adoption and Foster Ministry for just helping to answer some questions and make this video possible. I'd also like to thank especially the families who let me go to their homes and ask them questions, especially during the pandemic.
Ethan, it looks like you have someone with you to celebrate this moment. Your mom, I imagine you're so proud of him. What would you like to say?
I'd like to say that in this process that Ethan's making this video make an impact on us, and it especially strengthened our faith in God, because there were a lot of uncertainties when we were making this, when he's visiting different people and just thinking about doing the process. And we were not sure, like, will the entire family will be willing to come out and talk about personal stories, and especially during this pandemic time. And we're just very thankful. We're very thankful for SEVA to provide this opportunity for him to do this.
Congratulations, Ethan. We're very proud of you as well.
The final 9 through 12 Documentary Defining 2020 Award is presented to 5 Things to Do Right Now. Producer, Jake Glasgow of Rio Americano High School. The judges complimented Jake, saying his video was engaging. It was funny, relatable, and had lots of symbolism. Loved the creative camera angles.
Lastly, for number 5, learn manual, or if you want to find a project car, you could pick one up for pretty cheap. I think I can speak for a majority of the class of 2021 when I say it does suck that we lost our senior year, but we've all kind of accepted it. It's just kind of like out of our control. There's nothing we can do, so why not change the things that are in our control?
Jacob, we are so proud of you. We want to give you a chance to say a few words. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank my family for having to put up with me every day for the past year. My extended family, who I hope to see once the pandemic's over, and my friends who I've been talking to over Discord and Xbox. I'd like to admit that I'm in a much more fortunate position than most others, and I really hope that the people who are going through the rough patches of the pandemic, and just everyone in general, kind of share their story, because I think everyone's story needs to be heard about the pandemic. I think it's very important to, kind of reflect upon what happened.
It's so important that we keep those lines of communication open. Thank you for showcasing that, Jacob. And I want to also bring someone in. I think you have someone there who's also very proud of you, who could probably add to the importance of communicating and sharing as well. So hi, Jacob's mom. How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Fine, thank you. We understand you're a little proud of Jacob. It's been a truly definitely a year like no other, and yet you've been able to see him put together this video. So how proud of him are you? What would you like to say?
I'm extremely proud of him, because you know what? This is his senior year, and I remember my senior year with great fondness. And it takes a lot out of every student, not just seniors in general, to kind of put forth a different attitude and really pull everything within. And he's shown a lot of tenacity and a lot of grit and a lot of positivity in a world where sometimes things weren't very positive. And, we've had personal, close relatives, hospitalized and, dealing with a great amount of loss, that I appreciate him sharing the things that he's gone through within our family in the hopes that it connects with others. And I think there's just been, you have loss, and well, there's a cat.
There's some positives with this too, that things
And
we see.
conversely, you have, there's hope and joy. So you have to kind of find that balance to persevere. And hopefully everybody perseveres. And, the greatest lessons in life for me personally have been the hardest ones to learn through loss. So, and it really truly makes you a different person and shows a greater appreciation of life and those around you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to you too. It's been such a pleasure getting to see all these amazing entries. Congratulations to all your hard work. This truly has been a defining year in 2020, and what a way to recognize that with these student videos, Matt.
Yes, congratulations to all the award winners, and I so look forward to being able to do this in person next year.
Congratulations, everyone. Stay tuned to view all these amazing productions, and remember to join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. as we announce the Defining 2020 Awards for the School News category.
In the past year, life has changed drastically due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Kids across the country have lost social interaction by not participating in school, on campus, or other curricular activities. Several companies released a COVID-19 vaccine in late 2020 in the hopes of stopping the spread and getting back to normal life. With much apprehension about taking the vaccine, I reached out to an infectious disease doctor to learn more about COVID-19, how it spreads, and why the vaccine works.
So I'm an infectious diseases doctor. I take care of people with infectious diseases, and I'm also the medical director of the California Department of Healthcare Services.
Dr. Karen Mark is helping to make a difference during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our department runs the Medi-Cal program, which pays for doctor's visits and other healthcare for about a third of all Californians, including about half of all kids. So about half of all kids that go to your school. And I'm working with other people in the department to help make sure that we can get the COVID vaccine distributed to everyone on Medi-Cal. The COVID-19 is a virus, and it travels from one person to another in little droplets. So when someone who has COVID coughs or sneezes or talks or even just breathes, little droplets come out of their mouth with the virus. And those droplets can land on someone else's mouth or nose or eyes. And that's how that second person gets infected with the virus. That's why we wear masks, because the mask prevents the droplets from touching your mouth or nose. And like if I have COVID and I wear a mask, then it keeps the droplets all with me so they don't travel to other people. One of the ways that our bodies protects us from all infections, including COVID, is we have something called an immune system. And our immune system, when it sees COVID, we have some cells that like gobble it up. We have other cells that like see the virus and they say, oh, I know that's not part of me. And then they put a little flag on it. And then other cells will like kill those cells with the virus. And that's how our body fights infections. But it takes several days to several weeks for our bodies to develop that immune system. And after we have COVID and after we develop that immune response, we have certain memory cells that always stay with us and remember that virus. So if we get all better from COVID, we have those memory cells, and that helps protect us from getting COVID again. The vaccine works because it tricks our body into thinking we have the virus, even though we don't. The coronavirus actually means crown, and that's because the virus has these little spikes on it. And the COVID vaccine has a little code that creates just like one of those little parts of one of those spikes. So when we get the COVID vaccine, the body makes just that little part of the spike, and then our immune system recognizes that it's not part of us. And then it develops that whole immune response to it, and it develops those memory cells so that we have those memory cells, so that even though we didn't get sick from the vaccine, we still have the memory cells and we can fight off, if we get exposed to the actual coronavirus. So before the vaccine was distributed to the public, it was tested in lots and lots of people to make sure that it was safe and to make sure that it works. And it passed all those tests. So it showed that the vaccine works and that it is safe. All that data from all those trials were also reviewed by the Federal Food and Drug Administration and also the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And they both also determined that it's safe. Getting the vaccine is a lot safer than getting COVID. So I'd rather have like a little bit of a sore arm for a day than, get really sick from COVID or maybe get COVID and pass it on to someone else. I've gotten the vaccine myself and it wasn't bad. I got a little bit of a sore arm, but other than that, I had no side effects at all. And I will also share that as soon as I can get the vaccine for my mom and for my kids and my other family members, I'll make sure they get the vaccine as well. So I feel very confident that it's safe. I just want to remind everyone how important it is to continue to wear a mask and stay 6 feet away from people and wash your hands. Even after people get vaccinated, we have to still continue taking those safety precautions for a while.
Encouraging the adults in your life to get vaccinated, kids can get back to learning on school campuses. They can take part in extracurricular activities and begin socializing like they did prior to the COVID-19 pandemic.
In this age of the world, not everything is certain.
Even now, our education can be in jeopardy.
These times have been
just hard.
Pivotal.
Annoying.
Challenging.
Your learning gets interrupted by Zoom because you're getting kicked off. And then you can't unmute, and then there's problems all the time with the technology and the internet because everybody's on Zoom at once.
Challenges of distance learning can really, really hurt, the kids more than we even know.
Just not being able to see my friends is kind of...
There's so many distractions during Zoom, so I can get distracted really easy.
The challenges, oh my gosh, it's number one, and that is, it's really the social interaction. Even there's interaction, there's not the in-person interaction. And that I feel is the most important piece, especially now in these grades. We have to really build those relationships. For learning to happen, the relationships have to be solid.
What is the hardest or most challenging part?
Probably learning.
There's, however, light shining through all of it.
We'll just say the best thing is, I don't have to think about anything but what top am I going to wear, and I wear my cozy slippers every morning. So that.
Sometimes in our class we do breakout rooms, and that's really fun. Or like when I feel comfortable, I just do it on the couch.
It allows some kids who are very tech savvy to really shine.
Probably the best part is that we're still doing school and we're still learning.
We're able to be more of a part on a daily basis as parents, a part of their learning experience.
Distance learning is a way to learn how to learn in a new, unique situation that, although it's difficult, is a gift of new knowledge.
Chances are you spend around 3.5 hours on your phone every day. Not bad, but it's nothing compared to teenagers.
My average screen time is like 8 or 9 hours a day.
This week, it's 4 hours and 30 minutes is my average for the daily.
Probably like 4 to 6 hours.
Average of 7 to 8.
Probably around 4 to 5 hours.
I am literally always on it. I think it's like 18 hours a day.
The average teenager spends about 7.5 hours on their phone every day. But why?
Mainly, it's just interacting with sites that I enjoy. So a lot of like YouTube or like listening to music.
Majority of the time is TikTok. If it's not TikTok, I'm usually watching anime.
It's like I use it to talk to people or for art references.
Is connecting with friends, listening to music, and creating art really all that bad? According to some adults, absolutely. There are hundreds of articles about how too much phone time rots your brain, how violent video games corrupt your mind, and more. These people assume that the issue is phones themselves. However, this situation is more complicated. It's not just the phone. The problem is social media.
I usually use TikTok the most.
Snapchat.
I watch YouTube a lot.
Instagram.
Twitter, probably.
I was on Tumblr for a little while.
90% of teenagers have used social media. It's how teens connect. Social media can be used for positive activities. It's fantastic that teens have easy access to social interaction with their peers, especially during quarantine when they don't have the option of going to school. However, statistics show that social media does more harm than good. On all social media sites, there's an overwhelming urge to be popular and fit in. Apps like Instagram and Twitter run on likes and comments.
Like Instagram, you get likes if people, approve of whatever you're posting. And I think a lot of people find validation through that.
It's human nature to seek approval from others. Let's take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, an idea in psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow. This theory describes human motivation. Simply put, what drives us? The first two layers of the pyramid describe our basic needs: food, water, warmth, shelter, then security and safety. Just above that, we have belonging. Humans want to fit in and be approved of. According to Maslow, humans seek validation from social groups. In the absence of this love and validation, people can become lonely, withdrawn, and depressed. It's human nature to belong. Social media apps use this to their advantage. The like button exists to seek approval from others. According to a study conducted by UCLA researchers, teens receive large amounts of dopamine whenever they see more likes on their pictures. It's similar to eating chocolate or winning money. However, when teens receive less likes, they feel more strongly rejected and report more negative effects and more negative thoughts about themselves. In a study conducted by researchers at the University of Texas at Austin, a team simulated social media interactions with students. The study found that receiving less likes actually lowered the students' self-esteem. A second study using the same experimental task found that teens with the strongest negative reaction to receiving less likes were also more likely to experience symptoms of depression. As well as that, the pressure to receive likes and be liked can lead to insecurity online. And a big part of that has to do with body image.
I don't wear what a lot of people seem to deem as like, this is pretty. Or I don't seem to have the body type that people seem are pretty. And it's like,
it kind of, I guess, when I was younger, would encourage me to dress more normal. It's lame that my high school years just weren't good because I was so unhappy with myself outwardly, and I was so obsessed with that and trying to make myself look better that I let my studies fail. I would see my classmates Instagrams because I would just try to dress like them because I wanted them to like me, but at the same time I also didn't want to get bullied.
Often, the most liked photos and most popular accounts are ones featuring attractive people, celebrities like Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner. Unfortunately, the urge to be liked, that third level on the Maslow hierarchy of needs, fuels teens' desire to be just like these celebrity idols that get millions of likes. If people like them because of their body, then naturally teens want to look just like them. In fact, 88% of women say that they compare themselves to images in the media, while 65% of men report the same thing.
You can't really help but compare yourself to these people,
I would look at girls and I'd be like, wow, if only I look like them, or I was tall like them, or skinny like them, and all that stuff.
You may feel confident, but if you go and see somebody and you compare yourself to them, that immediately kind of takes down your confidence.
However, social media is flooded with unreasonable standards. In the digital age, it's easier than ever to edit selfies using Photoshop or other apps. You can cover up blemishes, change your body shape, and more. Nearly 2/3 of Americans say that they edit photos before they post them. This can lead to disastrous consequences. According to Nia Chaudhry, a child and adolescent psychiatrist at Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard Medical School, People end up creating unrealistic ideals for themselves based on what they see, and feel distressed when they aren't able to meet those ideas or self-expectations. This distress has been proven to manifest itself in the form of decreased self-esteem and poorer body image. Even worse, studies have shown that there's a link between social media use and the development of mental illness. Between 2009 and 2017, rates of depression among teens ages 14 to 17 increased by more than 60%. Rates of suicidal thoughts, plans, and attempts all increased significantly, and in some cases, more than doubled. This trend cannot continue. We need to do something. But is there a solution?
Personally, I think the solution for social media would be to eliminate the things that make people want to download social media in the first place. So the likes, the views, the comments.
There's obviously never going to be like a perfect world where everybody is happy, but I think that I know like I've seen a lot of like body positivity trends and like people just being unapologetically themselves, and I think just more stuff like that where it's like you see someone and you're like, wow, that's really cool, and then like you can kind of follow them and like just be yourself more. And I think that the more people that start to show like these little flaws, that I think that'll make it a little bit of a better place.
The one that may first come to mind is banning social media.
Social media kind of creates that dependency, and so if you really want to be happy and really like be in a good place, you're gonna like have to commit and delete it. And I mean, that's really hard, but like at the end of the day, like if you want to be happy, like you have to delete it, which is hard.
However, getting rid of it altogether isn't the solution. As mentioned before, social media is a genuinely good tool for teens to connect, especially during the pandemic with no in-person school.
On one hand, I think definitely like if everybody got rid of it, I think it would be great, but I just know that that's not realistic, and that it's just better to focus on like the good that can come out of it, and like just trying to make the internet like less of a toxic place to be.
We're already so accustomed to the profiles that we build in our life and how extensively we use social media that there wouldn't be a way for us to just get rid of it, because nobody would want that.
But clearly, something does need to change. Remember Maslow's hierarchy and the negative consequences of not being liked? Some apps are actively trying to find a solution to this issue. For example, Instagram is experimenting with removing likes on their posts. Users will still be able to like pictures, but the like count will be removed from public view. It's too early to see if this is helpful to the mental health of users, but it's fantastic to see companies attempting to solve this issue. The problem of unreasonable standards, however, is something more complex. The root issue isn't just perpetuated by social media. Before social media, TV and magazines pushed unrealistic bodies as well. This, too, leads to body dissatisfaction. As mentioned earlier, the consequences that result from this can include decreased self-esteem, depression, self-harm, and suicide. Did you know that more than 70% of people with mental health issues do not receive any kind of treatment or care? Almost 20% of high school students experience suicidal thoughts. Depressed teens are more than twice as likely to drop out of high school. There are extreme consequences for this mental health epidemic. They need treatment. According to a study by EAB, students are far more likely to seek treatment for mental health issues at school rather than a clinic. It is essential that we focus our efforts on making mental health treatment accessible. Schools are the best place for that. Referring to the report, schools are often under-resourced and underprepared to give students the treatment that they need. During an interview with the website Education Week, EAB Managing Director Pete Talbot said that, "We have a mental health provider shortage in this country. Schools have been thrust into this position, but they're not really resourced. In many respects, it's an unfunded mandate." The report shows that schools are failing at the following. 1. Identifying students with mental health issues early. 2. Taking advantage of partnerships with external providers. 3. Adequately reintegrating students back into the classroom after they have had a mental health-related leave of absence. 4. Combating the stigma of mental health. Much of mental health treatment is prevention. Reacting to students only after they are in a mental health crisis isn't good for the student or the teacher. Instead, schools should identify students early on and connect them with the treatment they need. In order to do this, schools should create early warning systems that help school staff identify students in need. They should have plans to help integrate students back into school after a mental health crisis. Finally, in order to combat the stigma, schools should have ongoing mental health awareness campaigns throughout the year. With these solutions, teens have the potential to avoid disastrous mental health consequences while still utilizing social media for good.
Now I don't care what other people think of me. I realize that like literally like 2 years ago, I think I finally was like, wow, it doesn't matter actually. Like, wow, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter like how many likes you get or how many followers you have. I learned now that like everyone is beautiful in their own unique way. Like, yeah, sure, she might be tall and skinny, but I'm me and I'm not her and she's her.
If you struggle with mental health or your body image, there are so many online resources to help. The National Suicide Hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. You can call for crisis counseling and immediate help. Text HELLO to 741-741 for the crisis text hotline, which connects you with a crisis counselor who can provide support and information over text. Also, the National Alliance on Mental Illness is the largest nationwide mental health advocacy group with hundreds of state organizations, affiliates, and volunteers. There, you can find support groups, free education, awareness, and community.
Until either you're born or your actions match what your people are asking you to do, your citizens won't have any words for you.
Dear friends, I have known that you were adopted for a long time now. In the last decade, more than 500,000 children like you have been adopted in the US. But I was afraid to ask you about it because I heard about how some adopted children have been deserted or not loved. But to my surprise, you were quite open to sharing your adoption stories.
I'm adopted. I'm adopted.
I am adopted.
adopted.
We try to have our own children. Unfortunately, after one miscarriage and our attempt to get pregnant, it didn't work. So it was logical that it was time for us to pursue adoption.
I thought of like the stigma of not having your own biological children, but then I thought like, well, actually every kid is a gift from God. So whether it's biological or adoption.
Our adoption is the international adoption. We adopted from China.
All I know is that when I was a baby, my mom dropped me off on a farmer's doorstep and basically ran away. And then the farmer took me to the adoption agency.
So I'd gotten a call in October and they said, we noticed that you had checked Korea on your adoption list. And they had told me that the program opened up and that there were kids that were ready to be adopted. And as I understand it, his biological mother did not know she was pregnant. And when she delivered the baby at the hospital, she had put him up for adoption there. And then he was in the hospital for about 4 weeks before he went to foster care.
There was this one time I was eating lunch with a classmate, and I told her mom that I was adopted, and she didn't really believe me until some of the people that knew that I was adopted told her that.
After our second child, we decided to pursue an international adoption. We got our son from South Korea when he was an infant. He's now 15.
Adoption is very special because I now have tons of opportunities in life, and I now have a family that I probably wouldn't have had if I wasn't adopted.
And after that, we decided to get involved in foster care. So we have a daughter that we lived in Chico at the time that we adopted through Butte County Foster Care in California. And then recently we were trying to just do foster care, not adoption. And so we got a baby through Sacramento County, and she ended up staying with us and was adopted by us.
It's nice to know that you have people who care about you and they'll be there for you. I love my parents.
For fathers, I know there's always a lot of fear about that, or am I going to love the child and this and that. And I think that just from what I've learned in our story with 3 adopted and 2 biologicals, there's no difference. They're all your kids.
I think it's pretty cool because we're a diverse family, but I treat them the same as my biological brothers.
We believe strongly that we are adopted into God's family, and adoption for us is something that's pretty cool, pretty significant. It's always been a dream for me, a dream for us to show that same care, same adoption to someone else.
He was 11 days old when he came to us. We went through the foster to adopt. The whole thing was like a 2.5-year process, I would say.
Until it was finally completed.
I've heard of people just making fun of them sometimes, or just telling them that they are adopted and make them feel bad. I guess I'd stand up for them and just tell them that they're normal and they have a purpose like everyone else, unique and special.
It's because he looks different. People look at him differently. So they see, for example, I'm walking with him. We always take walks pretty much every day, and our neighbors are like, oh, they look at us and kind of stare a little bit longer than if he had looked exactly like.
I went to some adoption agencies and facilitators to ask about what the adoption process is like for birth parents.
A woman is thinking about making an adoption plan for her child. She's usually trying to consider, can she parent the child? Does she know someone who can parent the child? And what's the status of the birth father? It's typically in a time of crisis. It could be she is unemployed. She could be in an addiction situation where she's using drugs or alcohol. She could be homeless. Or she could be very young and just feel like she doesn't have the capacity to parent. There's a lot of misconceptions that women are giving away their children, when in fact what they're really trying to do is provide the best life for that child And if she feels she can't do that, she wants someone to have her child have that opportunity.
I've never worked with a birth parent that I could say did it because they didn't love their child or deserted them.
His biological mom made a very, very tough choice. Whatever her reasons were, she chose to put Christian up for adoption. And for him and myself and our families, that was the best thing. In her tough time, she made a decision, but it turned out that decision brought Christian to us.
We are totally going to be honest and open. It's not that your mom didn't want you. She was just struggling, and she was having a tough time, and she loved you very much.
Your mom wanted you to be in a family that was able to provide and to love you and to take good care of you. And that's what we wanted to do for you.
I also found that there is a lot of support for the birth parents.
But we as social workers also can provide, as much support as they want or as little as they want. So I can be there in the hospital room holding her hand while she's giving birth if she wants me to be. But if she doesn't want me involved in her adoption plan at all, she just wants to sign paperwork and be done with things, we respect that as well. As part of their adoption plan, we talk about what kind of contact they would like to have with their child and the adoptive parents after adoption. So we do a legally binding contract here called a post-adoption contact agreement, and it will really specify if there's letters, if there's pictures, if there's visits, when and where, how frequently, it's really spelled out as to what the contact looks like.
Our daughter has a relationship with her biological sister, who is 24 years old, and her sister sought her out, reached out to CPS, who reached out to us via email. And so that's been a relationship that's been very valuable and meaningful to our daughter, and it's allowed her to have information about her biological family.
I have asked about my other parents. I asked how many siblings I had. I asked why I had to be taken away from them, and how many different homes I went to.
I have biological children and I have adopted children, and at the end of the day, they're just our children. It might be hard to imagine how it's possible, but it truly is possible that you love all of them the same. It's just, that love just grows.
I would like you to support other people who are adopted by being nice to them.
It's just really neat to see them grow into this little person. Hopefully they'll grow up and be productive members of society, and we're giving them the chance that they didn't have.
You have shown me through sharing your stories that adoption can turn a person's uncertain situation to raise a child to become a child's hopeful journey in a loving family. Thank you for sharing your love in adoption.
Since January 2020, I've lost 3 chickens, 3 cats, and 1 dog. And now in 2021, as the vaccines begin to roll out for the elderly, I've started to reflect on what I've gotten done and what I've experienced with the time I've been given at the expense of my senior year. I've experienced my mom's sister get the vaccine as well as my dad's sister go on a ventilator. Each day that goes by makes me question if I really had the virus a month before quarantine even started way back in February. Maybe it wasn't cold-related asthma and a sinus infection, and maybe that's why the 2,000 milligrams of antibiotics a day didn't work. By the end of this pandemic, there's a good chance you'll know someone who's had it with varying results. This is why I'm staying inside, and as we face possibly the last 6 to 9 months of the pandemic, I have a list of 5 things you can do to sort of keep yourself occupied, as I have done for the past year. Number 1, exercise. It takes a few months to see noticeable progress, and make sure to start out small but consistent. Number 2, expand your wardrobe or do some room decorating while discovering new music. Number 3, talk to your friends over Discord. Discord is an app that's like Zoom, but just better in every aspect. Our server is structured like my friend's house. While you're at it, why not start up a Minecraft realm? They're pretty cheap, and for your first month, you get it for free. Number 4, do some reading. Most of the books they have us read in high school are pretty crap to the ones that are actually out there. Lastly, for number 5, learn manual, or if you want to find a project car, you could pick one up for pretty cheap. I think I can speak for a majority of the class of 2021 when I say it does suck that we lost our senior year, but we've all kind of accepted it. It's just kind of like out of our control. There's nothing we can do, so why not change the things that are in our control?